Here's to Main Street, not Wall Street. Here's to being invested in each other. Here's to a return to what matters. Elevations Credit Union. It matters where you bank. Visit us online to see why.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. All right, so this is cool. It's seriously like a private class. I don't even need to wear this stupid thing, but they have me wearing it because they want to record it. So, who am I? Who are you hanging out with for the next 45, 50 minutes? Again, my name is Eric Sachs, and just like most of you, if not all of you in the room, I lived a past life. Does anyone in here have a 4-year degree on how to sell residential real estate? Nobody? Good. Last class I taught, I had someone raise their hand, and they're like, yeah, I have a degree in sales. I was like, oh, man, that sucks. Now I can't say that in this class. So my past life, I chased bad guys for 13 years. Fort Collins PD, I was a major case detective for 7. I left major case to go back to the street. Uh-oh. When I went back to the street, something kind of funny happened to me. I hope that doesn't keep doing that the whole time. I went back to the street, training rookies, because I love to train, right? And so we're out in the middle of the night. We get a burglar alarm at $1 million home. What is my rookie doing? He's in the basement looking for bad guys. Where am I? Looking at the home. I'm in the kitchen, looking at the granite and the backsplash, thinking, this is a sick kitchen. And then I put 2 and 2 together. I'm thinking, I love kitchens, and I pull all these realtors over in Mercedes and BMWs. I can do this. So I did it. I got my real estate license. I was the only cop, 200 cops, 200 firefighters at the time, all the ER docs I used to eat dinner with every night, and all the attorneys in town. What do you think I had kind of overnight? A top-producing real estate business. And so what did I do? I went ahead and opened my own company in a really naive way. I grew it to 75 agents in northern Colorado. We were acquired in 2010. And rather than go work for the big company that acquired us, we decided to build something for the real estate industry. So we built breakthroughbroker.com. If you've never been there, please check it out, breakthroughbroker.com. It's the country's largest free resource for realtors. Here's the long and short of it. Sit up front. If I suck, you can leave. I won't make fun of you. I was a cop turned realtor, and now you've caught up. Okay? So, where was I? Breakthroughbroker.com. Largest free resource in the real estate industry. We hit 54,000 agents every month. It's truly free, no catches. We wanted to build the WebMD for the real estate industry. So it's been fun. We've had 700,000 visits this year alone. And so I get to do this all over the country. What's so cool about me teaching here today is that I drove for about 15 minutes. We're based out of Denver. I did not have to fly anywhere. So we're going to make this interactive. This is really important to me because I was one of those realtors who ran around like a chicken without their head, right? All crazy, out of control. So we're going to talk about that today. I shall not should on myself. And we're going to talk about what some of the shoulds in our life are costing. And we're going to talk about some things to stop shoulding on ourselves, right? Say that really fast 3 times. Oh, by the way, disclaimer. When you teach to cops, if you don't say the F word in the first 5 minutes, you lose all credibility. So, here's my disclaimer. I apologize up front. If I say something dirty, I apologize. I am not part of CAR. I'm not part of Chase. They're hold harmless for my dirty mouth. But I will try not to, okay, guys? So, I shall not should on myself. Why did you guys get into real estate? And this isn't just a class where you're going to sit and hear me lecture, so you better be ready to say something. Why'd you get into real estate? I like doing what I like doing. Do what I want when I want to do it. Why'd you get into real estate? Same thing. What else?
I like to make people happy.
Make people happy.
I got laid off my old job.
Laid off your old job. And real estate is the absolute, I hear that all the time. I got laid off and just real estate seemed like a common thing. Why'd you get into real estate? Title? That's fine. Why'd you get into title? Perfect. Love marketing, be creative. I hear all these things. I love helping people, right? With the largest financial transaction of their life, I love houses. That's what got me into this, right? And nice cars. I don't know. I can do better than my agent did. I got laid off. That's why you got into it. I felt that way too. I bought my first house. I was like a young cop. I was like, I'm going to go buy a house. It was crazy. It was a terrible experience. I love working 24/7. We all own our own business. We work part-time, part of every day. 12 hours, right? You guys get that? How about this, guys? Why can't we admit this? Why did nobody say that in here? It's not socially acceptable. In my classes and on breakthroughbroker.com, everything we talk about is making more money. We do like helping people. That's legitimate. We do like houses. That's legitimate. But what do you need to do what you want to do when you want to do it?
Make money.
Wealth. Now, your wealth and my wealth and your wealth, they're different numbers. I don't care what your number is for wealth. I really don't care. What I care about is that you guys do what you love and you do it when you want to do it. And in order to do that, you got to do what? Sell some freaking houses, right? I said freaking. That's not the F word I was talking about, so you should be proud of me. Sell some houses. So in here, it's okay, in my opinion, to say to everybody next to you, I want to make some money in this business. Because if you don't make money in this business, what are you going to go do? You've been laid off. What are you going to go do?
Go back to newspaper business.
Okay, that's not a good business to be in right now. You should go back into an internet business. So guys, but we're shooting on ourselves all the time. This is totally me. Can anybody relate to this? This was me when I was out of control. Not that. Wish that would stop. I was selling houses, managing 35, 40, 50 agents, and we were still selling, right? I had 5 transactions going. I was all over the place, totally out of control. I have 2 kids, right? So I'm working on 5 deals. I'm managing agents who are coming to me with their problems. And I had to take my son to taekwondo, my daughter to dance, and I didn't know where to begin. Has anyone felt like this? Hands up. Higher, guys. It's just us in here today. So most good real estate agents have felt like this in their career, right? Some of us feel like it right now. Many of us feel like it all the time. And you know what happened? I get into the office, and my business partner, Nathan, for those, I don't know if none of you have met Nathan, but he's a real reserved guy. That's why we're such good business partners. He doesn't talk. I talk a lot. I get into the office, and Nathan's like, did you get the newsletter out to our sphere? I should do that, but I'll do it in 2 weeks. Of these 5 transactions, 4 are going to close. I think my son's done with taekwondo, and I know my daughter's done with dance. Don't worry about it. Come in the next day. Did you get those just listed postcards out for that new listing? Did you get any marketing out to our farm? I should do that, but I'm going to do it in 2 weeks. How do you think that went for me, guys? Say that again. Guys, I found really quickly that I am as busy tomorrow as I am today. And it doesn't matter, right? So of the 5 deals, only 1 closed. 4 kept going. I got 2 more clients. My son stopped taekwondo but started hockey. My daughter stopped dance but started gymnastics. And 6 months went down the road, right? And all these shoulds. I should get my newsletter out. I should get my sphere out. I should get my just listed postcard out, right? 6 months went down the road, and guess what? I had nothing to show for it. I woke up one morning and my pipeline was dead. I wasn't recruiting because I was shooting on myself. Okay? And so Nathan came in one day pissed off at me. And he looked at me and he said, Eric, if you say should one more time, I'm going to kick your ass. Because I was the marketing guy, right? He was the logical guy. He did all the contracts and stuff like that and put all our paperwork in. I was the one who brought in the money. And so we literally outlawed this word in our office and for each other as a team. Now, that's not easy. And we're going to talk about how we did that today. But first, I want to identify a few things from you guys. I want you guys, you all have a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to write down some shoulds in the last 2 weeks. You all have a should in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Write down some shoulds. Awkward silence up here for like 2 minutes. I wish I had music for this part. Like da-na-na-na-na. Just a few shoulds that you've said to yourself in the last 2 weeks. All right. What's one of your shoulds? Shoot some videos.
A broker tour.
Broker tour.
Start calling.
Calling.
Exercise.
Exercise. Market snapshot in the back. Thank you cards. Right here.
Call all my people more often.
Okay, cool. So we have market snapshot, thank you cards, call people more often. What's one here?
Should have contacted more of my.
More of your sphere. Business plan. Awesome, guys. All of these shoulds are really important to making more money. Would you agree? Yes or no? Yes? All right. So, what's the one should, I just gave it away. It's the one should I've never heard, and I teach this all the time. I really should get better at writing better contracts. I really should get better at writing a decent listing agreement. Get better at my buyer's agreement. Why have I never heard that? And the charities of the world, you guys know charity, she teaches, hate this part of my class. But guess what? Why do I never hear this? Because it doesn't matter how good a contract you write, and it doesn't matter how good you negotiate, and it doesn't matter how good your buyer's contract is, if you have no one to give it to. Am I right? So all of the things we talked about, your business plan, thank you cards, talking to more people, taking more exercise, all of those things are what? About getting business. So what's our job as realtors? I promise you it's not to write a good contract. I promise you it's not to be a great negotiator. Those are pieces of the puzzle. But what's your job as a real estate professional? To market yourself. To find people that want to work with you. Okay? So guys, it's a really sad thing about going to conferences and classes. You're going to go to classes yesterday and today, and you're going to watch a lot of good speakers talk about a lot of good things, and you're going to go home and not do anything. I'm not ripping on you. It's just how I was. It's how it goes, right? Am I right? Yes? Yes. Okay. So what I want out of this class, out of the next half hour with me, is I just want you to realize one thing. Every time you say should, everything on that list is costing you some money, and we're going to look at this. Everything. Okay? Every time you say, I should get that just listed postcard done, I should get my thank yous out, we are losing money. Time out. This is going to get annoying. So, our job and our profession is to market ourselves. All the other things come. Pretty much anyone can write a contract in Colorado, guys. Right? It's fill in the blank. You get good at it later. But it's pretty much fill in the blank. Yes? I teach in some states where they make their own contracts. It's scary as hell. Like, seriously scary. Okay? So we have a pretty good state to do real estate in. All we have to really do is be good at what? Marketing. Not filling in the blanks. Marketing yourself and finding people to work with. Okay? So, I digress a little bit because this is one of my favorite essays ever written. Guys, come up front. I'm not going to suck that bad that you're going to want to leave in a half hour, so just come up front. Guys, this is interesting. This is an essay written by E.N. Gray. He was an insurance salesman, really famous guy in the 60s. And he did this essay called The Common Denominator of Success. Google it when you're done. It's worth reading if you're salespeople. The Common Denominator of Success. You can Google it. You can download the PDF and read it. It's super good. It's quick read. I like to give little tidbits while I'm talking about things that will help you guys. Google this. The secret of success of every man who's ever been successful lies in the fact that he formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. I'm going to say it one more time. The secret of success of every man who's ever been successful lies in the fact that he formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. These shoulds that we all just wrote down. Guys, will you write down a couple shoulds that you've said to yourself in the past 2 weeks? A couple shoulds. I'm not picking on you. It'll just make more sense. Why haven't we done that? You know why? Because it sucks, right? It sucks to make the phone calls. It sucks to get the thank you cards and write on them and mail them, right? Especially realtors. We have this aversion to like stuffing envelopes, putting a stamp on something, and driving to the post office and actually sticking it in the mail. All these things are awful. They're no fun. It's not glamorous, I heard at the last class, right? So they get pushed on the back burner. And we don't do them. We find other shiny things to do that we think are making us money. But if you look at this statement, it's true. The real estate industry kills me. It's really, you guys heard of the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule? 20% of the agents are selling 80% of the homes in our industry, and it's probably higher than that, okay? So our industry's really bad at that, right? 90. Right. Okay? So the 8%, do you know what they're doing? The stuff that sucks. They're finishing things. They're doing the shoulds. Now, we're going to talk about some tools to help you through this, but that's super important. I want to look at some of my shoulds when I was selling back in the day. Now we just run Breakthrough Broker. It's really fun for me. But when I was selling, I would come to Nathan and say, I should get some open houses done. Because clear and consistently over time, in my when I worked as a real estate agent, I found buyers. And I think over a 12-month period, why do I say clear and consistently over time, guys? Because we're really good at chasing shiny pennies. You guys can walk through that expo downstairs and be like, ooh, cool, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Anyone seen Up? Right? We're really good at that. And we buy it, we try it, and we leave it. We buy it, we try it, and we leave it. So clear and consistently over time, buy versus rent. Guys, the rental markets are stupid. They're ridiculous. Wall Street Journal says the Denver rental market's one of the highest rental markets in the country. What does that mean? You should be marketing to the rental markets and finding people who should buy instead of rent right now. I did that a lot, and I think I could get 5 deals over the course of the year, and then get a newsletter to my sphere, stay in front of the people who know, like, and trust me, right? Does that look absurd to you? I think I could get 5 deals from open houses in 12 months, 5 transactions from buy versus rent, and 10 off keeping in touch with the people I knew. I know. Is that out of the world? Can you guys agree with me on that? Awesome. Total transactions that I'm losing when I say I should do an open house, I should do buy versus rent, I should do my newsletter is 20 transactions left on the table. Now let's really look at that, guys. What does 20 transactions look like? Well, $300,000 average sales price. I got a funny story for you guys. I taught this class in San Francisco about a month ago. I literally got laughed out of the room. I have to change my slides, guys, when I teach in different markets. Now this is okay in Denver. Not in Boulder. I realize that. I was just there teaching last week. But this slide popped up, and they literally died laughing. I'm like, what? They're like, well, our average sales price is $1.2 million here in Berkeley. We only have to sell 5 homes a year to live a good life. Pretty funny, right? Anyway, so let's look at this, though, guys. Let's take $300,000 and look. Those 20 transactions that I left on the table constitute $6 million in sales volume. Now you look at this, and that's $6 million times an average commission of 3%. Is $180,000. Okay? If you went home and you looked at your spouse and said, honey, I don't feel like making $180,000 this year. You cool with that? How do you think that would go over? Guys, this is honest to God the truth about you saying should. This is what you're leaving on the table when you say you should get your thank you cards out, you should make your calls, you should exercise more because you'll be more productive. Money, like honest money. So I could quit right now and be happy teaching you guys that every time you say should, you're leaving money on the table. We're going to work on a few things to stop saying should now for a few minutes. But can you guys all nod or raise your hand? Now when you hear that word in your head, you're going to stop for a second and say, wait a second. I'm definitely leaving money on the table. Okay? So that's my first goal today, is to show you guys that you're leaving money on the table every time you say I should get something done. Now, the hard part is actually stopping this. Super hard. You got to find it from within. Some tools that we use we're going to go over, but my business partner would say this is Eric math. Can anyone tell me what, other than you, because I think you saw this, what does 90 times 10 equals 0 mean? Can anyone tell me what math this is? Realtors, our population of the world is so good at this math. What does this mean? It means we have 10 things on our should list or on our desk, 90% done. I found the newsletter I want to do, and I printed it out and I left it on my desk. I got the Just Listed postcard out, figured out which one I wanted to use, but I stopped there. I want to use a CRM, and I organized my sphere, but I never got it into my CRM. Do you guys, is this us sometime? Any of you guys with some of your shoulds? You got some of them started? So we are, as a profession, awesome at 90 times 10 equals 0. Real math. 10 things, 90% done, gives you nothing. What do you guys have if you get one thing done? All the way. 100% of something. Do you think 100% of something is going to make you more money than 100% of 0? Yes. So we have to stop 90 times 10 equals 0. Why are we so good at starting things and not finishing. The reason we're talking about the why for a few minutes is it's really important for you to identify if you're doing this to yourself. So somebody tell me why. I know we're tired. It's the end of the conference. You guys went out drinking last night, probably, I hope. Why? Tomorrow? Yeah, okay. So time. What else? Why are we so good at this? Distractions, right? Absolutely. So we have something on our to-do list, but we check our email, and our email takes us down like 52 wormholes, right? What else?
We're always multitasking.
Multitasking. Okay? So we're living in this world, like I talked about with my hair on fire. I showed you that picture, right? And we don't stop that. So we start things and we go to something else. We start something, we go to something else. We start something, we go to something else. Do you know what kind of stress that puts on you guys? When you go home at night, what are you thinking about? You're not playing with the kids or hanging out with your husband or wife. You're thinking all the crap left on your desk that you didn't do because you got to, and you should be doing it because you need to make some money to put the food on the table for the kids you're playing with at night. Stressful, right? Imagine if you got one thing done every day. Like imagine your business. It's probably 180,000 times 2 in income. Okay? We're good at this because of fear. What are we scared of? Failing. Fear of failure for sure, right? We're scared of posting cool, engaging stuff on our social media because we're scared no one's going to like it. Right? Who cares? We're scared of sending out a newsletter to our sphere because we're afraid no one's going to call us. What if someone does call you? How about fear of someone actually calling you? I see this with new agents all the time. Like, oh my gosh, someone actually called me. I don't know what to say. We talk about role play in my realtor safety class. Role play this, guys. Role play someone actually calling you off marketing. Turn it into a sale. We had floor duty. I had a cool downtown Fort Collins office, and we had floor duty. Back then, people actually came into the office. There wasn't Zillow, right? And so I'd watch people come into the office wanting to buy homes, and I'd watch my agents totally shut down. Like, they couldn't build rapport, they couldn't talk, and I'd watch this commission walk out the door because they weren't role-playing what to do if someone actually called. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Fear. Habits. All right, who knows this agent? I'm checking the time so I know where I'm at. Who knows this agent? You get up in the morning. Maybe you go to the office and get there around 10. Okay? Get the kids off to school. We're in real estate. We do what we want to do when we want to do it. We get there at 10. We go get a cup of coffee. We chat with a couple of our buddies. Go talk to the managing broker for a little while. Then we go sit at our desk and we check our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our email. And then we get back up, go get another cup of coffee, go talk to our friends, talk to the manager for a few minutes, sit back down and do what? Check our Facebook, check our email, like our second cousin's trophy that their kids won back east, get into a crazy conversation with them on Messenger, and then it's 12 o'clock, and what do we do? In Fort Collins, we went to the Rio for lunch. Right? Great margaritas at the Rio, if you don't know what the Rio is. So we'd go for a margarita lunch, and we'd go with a lender or a title rep, and we'd think we're working, right? Right? Then you get back at 1:30, and what do? Check your Facebook, check your LinkedIn, check your email. And before you know it, it's 2 o'clock, and we've done nothing to find some business. We've done nothing to market ourselves. We've done nothing to complete 90 times 10 equals 0. And we've thought to ourselves, gosh, I'm so busy. Right? We might even post on Facebook. I don't know where the day went. I'm so busy. I'll tell you where the day went. It went to bad habits. We're going to talk about habits and how to change them in a little while. Technology. I had an agent who worked on her newsletter for so long. She fiddle-faddled with publisher, and she came to have me proofread it, and she brought it back to me again. I said, Stacy, get it out. So I saw her 2 weeks later, and I said, Stace, how was the newsletter? And she looked at the ground. She walked away from me, and she said, Eric, I couldn't figure out the mail merge. Technology stops us from getting 100% done, right? Do you think there was 20 other people in my office I could have helped her with the mail merge? Okay. So fear, habits, technology, environment. Another story. I had 2 rookie agents walk into my office, sit down, all excited, shut my door and say, we got good news. We just formed a team. You know what I said? Not at my company, you're not. 2 new agents are not allowed to have a team. Why? You got to surround yourself with great people. Environment is super important. Surround yourself with great lenders, great title representatives. Surround yourself with agents who are doing their shoulds, who are making more money than you. There's always an agent in the office, most of us, who's doing better than us. Hang out with them. Make sure you know when they're going to be at the office. Go to lunch with them. But make sure you're hanging with the right people. Don't hang out with people who are failing in this business. 80% of all new agents don't renew after their first 3 years. Crazy, right? Why would you hang out with them? Unless you're teaching them how to be good. I'm not saying not to be a mentor. But if you're both new, don't you find someone who can rock it with you and who can show you what to do. Okay? Are you two new? Are you two a team? Okay, good. Okay, good. There you go. All right. Knowledge. Keep going to classes, guys. And when you go to a class, have one goal every time you go to a class. To find one thing that you can do 100%. Just one. You don't have to do all of the crap I talk about today. Just one thing. Try it, okay? Time. We talked about time. Time is tough for us. But a lot of our time problems are because we have bad habits, okay? Accountability. We're going to talk about accountability. We hate change, right? We hate change. All people hate change. Start embracing some change, guys. Change is good. So stop shooting on yourself by implementing. Now, how are we going to implement? We are the worst. Okay? We have great ideas. We're entrepreneurs. Good real estate agents are entrepreneurs. What are entrepreneurs? They're idea people, right? We have great ideas. We have good ideas how to make more money, find more people to sell more homes to, but we have a tough time getting there, right? We all want to do great, fun things. So here's one piece of implementation I'd like you guys to try out. TODOIST, Todoist.com. It's the best web-based to-do list on the market. TODOIST.com. What's cool about this? Anyone to-do listers in here? What do you have your to-do list? What do you use as a to-do list? This white line paper. What else? What are some other to-do lists? Who are other to-do listers in here? You use your phone. What do you use? Paper. Sticky notes. Wow. That thing, whatever it is. What happens when you leave that at home, when you leave your sticky notes at home, when you leave them at the office? Pretty much now you have like 15 to-do lists, right? You have one at the office, one in the car, on the floorboard. Everything on my car ends up on the floorboard. I don't know why. And I always tell my kids to stop eating in my car, and I can't figure out how they keep doing it. I'm bad at implementing rules at my house, right? So, guys, we have to make sure that we try something. So Todoist is really cool, TODOIST.com. It turns into a project manager for you guys, okay? It's web-based. It's always on your phone, iPad, Mac, whatever, always. Now, what I want you to do is you all wrote some shoulds, okay? I want you to look at your shoulds for 2 seconds and identify the one should on your list, should I said. The one should on your list, that's the highest money-making activity. For me, it was newsletters, because I think I could have found 10 clients over the course of a year by keeping in touch with my sphere. Okay? $6,000, $7,000 a commission. That's my $70,000, $80,000, whatever, right? So find, real quick, circle the highest money-making activity on your shoulds. Circle that, real quick. The thing you think, if you did all the way to completion, that you'd make the most money from in 2015. Now, when you're done with that, here's how that works. You go to Todoist.com. It's free, by the way, guys. Free. The paid version is like $49 for the whole year, and you don't need the paid version. It just sends you alerts and stuff like that. So you create your project in Todoist, and you create a recipe, guys. At first, this is going to feel so stupid and so weird. I'm talking every step it takes to get this from 0 to 100% done. Every step. Like, find the newsletter, create and find the stories, organize my database, create a mailing labels, print it, fold it, stamp it, label it, mail it, put it in the car, drive to the post office, put it in the box, and be done. Guys, this is how you start to implement. As childish as this sounds, write your recipe. Now it's visual. you can see what's up there. Todoist is kind of funny. They send you a karma report every morning. So if you're like not doing anything, you create these lists and you don't check anything off, you have bad karma. I don't know. On Todoist. Anyway, they try to motivate you. Accountability is difficult. I don't care if you use Todoist or not. Compartmentalize, pick one thing, and do it 100%. And the way you do that is writing a recipe for it. Now, there's a little something else I'd love for you guys to do that I didn't put in here. I just redid this presentation. I wish I did. I want you guys to put, in addition to this recipe for what you get, I want you to put your destination, your goal, or what you want out of it. So for me, if I'm going to do my newsletters, I write my recipe, and I think I can get 10 transactions out of it. I want to make $80,000 next year off this one should. And with that $80,000, I'm going to take $10,000 of it and put it in the kids' Disney World fund. And I know that sounds touchy-feely coming from a cop, but it is what you guys, to change habits, you have to tell your mind and your body what you get out of finishing this 100%. So do it. Try it. Please, just try it. And see if you can get through this and finish something 100%. So a couple other, so Todoist.com, write the recipe, and take little bites. What do they say? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So take one should at a time, at a time, and get that done. Now, I like to share good books. I'm a reader. I drive my business partner and my wife totally crazy. I read a lot, and so I have more ideas. My business partner put me on an idea moratorium. You know, Nathan. It's like, no more freaking ideas. But I like to share what helps me with these ideas. This is a book called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Eat That Frog. And in Eat That Frog, it talks about like eating the elephant one step at a time, one bite at a time. It talks about how to do things that suck first, right? So what he talks about in Eat the Frog is 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. So if you looked at your efforts throughout the day and what makes money, we want to do those, okay? So we want to focus your energy on these productive tasks. Now, how do we do that? This is the next thing I'd love for you guys to try. This is free on mindtools.com. This is a daily activity log. This was literally, and I'm not being dramatic, this was life-changing for me. I was totally out of control, and Nathan sent me this and said, do an activity log. I was working out of the house, okay? And so, I don't know about you guys who work out of the house, but my wife thinks that because I was working out of the house, that I can pick up the kids, go do the laundry, go to the King Supers and get dinner that night and start it, right? And she wants me to do all that crap and still make money, right? And so I did this. I didn't know that was happening to me, by the way, until I did my log for a week. And I was religious. I promised Nathan I'd be religious about this daily log. And I looked at it on Friday and I was like, I went to Dependable Cleaners and that took me 40 minutes. And I went to King Supers and I brought the kids to school, picked the kids up from school, and I, got a call to do something else. And then I checked my email for 45 minutes. And after I checked my email for 45 minutes, it was literally life-changing. This stupid, simple little activity log showed me my bad habits, glaring. So what did I do? I left the house, not my wife, the house. And I went to the office, and my productivity went sky high because I wasn't doing all those things anymore. I saw my bad habits with this activity log. You just Google daily activity log, you'll find like 30 of them. You can find them online. You can even create, if you're really good, create a spreadsheet and do it digitally. I don't care. Track what you're doing all week and see if you can identify the 20% of what you're doing that's going to make 80% of your money and enhance that, guys. Because we're really leaving this stuff on the table. We have one on Breakthrough Broker. We have a to-do list on breakthroughbroker.com that we think helps a little bit. If you go to breakthroughbroker.com, upper right search tool, type in the best to-do list. You can print it out. What we have here is we've taken your day and broken it up by the things that don't produce any money that you have to do quickly, the things that I have to do but don't want to do, that's the frogs that you have to eat. The things that you're not done, you're not going to go home until they're done 100%. Some ideas, we want you to track your ideas so you can come back to them later. Just try this. It's helpful. You can create anything you want out of that. Habits. This is the hardest thing to change, guys. It's like deep-seated in our mind. So if you're really interested, there's a good book out there. It's by Charles Duhigg, D-U-H-I-G-G. Charles Duhigg, D-U-H-I-G-G. And it's aptly titled Habits. Okay? If you're into reading, try it. He talks about keystone habits. What's that thing that starts a chain reaction? So when Nathan looked at his keystone habits, he saw that he was checking. He would have a really nice to-do list on Todoist, and he'd get to the end of the day and he didn't do anything on it, and I'd chastise him for it. What did you get this done? No. Did you get this done? No. So we looked at his habits, and what happened is we're pretty busy. We got 54,000 realtors using Breakthrough Broker every month. So we get a lot of emails, right? And he's the operations guy, so he really gets a lot of emails. So what he was doing is he'd get up, and at 9 in the morning, he'd open his computer and go right to his Gmail. And in his Gmail, he'd find something that he had to work on, and he'd work on it till 11. He'd go back to his Gmail, find something else and work on it, and then guess what? It's the end of the day, and his to-do list got no attention. That was a keystone habit that he had to break. So he called me up one day and he said, Eric, if you email me the night before, I just want you to know I'm not getting back to you till 11 o'clock. So what do you mean? He said, from 9 to 11, every single morning of my life, I'm going to work on my to-do list, and I'm not even going to check my email till 11. I said, okay. And he did it. And he did it for 30 days. The book talks about, in order to really change a really deep-seated habit, you got to do it over and over and over for 30 days. Anyone like me, like I try to start working out again, I go work out for like 4 days, and then I stop. Then I go work out for 2 days, and I stop. And I go back to the gym, I try to go to the gym for 2 nights, and I stop. If I go for 30 days, then I do it for 8 months. It's the craziest thing, right? Try this, guys. Find out through your log what these keystone habits are that are costing you money. Replace that habit, do it repeatedly for 30 days, and then reward yourself. Reward yourself. You know what Nathan does when he's done with his to-do list before he gets on his email? Every morning, he goes and he messes around on Facebook for like 20 minutes. He'll search for boats, he'll do anything else. He'll reward himself for doing the habit, changing the habit, and then he'll get out of there, and at 11 o'clock, he'll go do what needs to be done on his email. So reward yourself, guys. There's the book, Charles Duhigg, Habits. I warn you, super dry. It's like reading a textbook. But it's actually very helpful. We really would recommend this book. We're almost done, guys. The Power of Full Engagement is another book. The Power of Full Engagement. Guys, haven't you ever talked to people, and you're having a conversation with them, and they're here, and they're here, and they're here, and they're here, right? Terrible. Terrible. We're not engaged in our conversations anymore. I sat at the Village Inn with my family the other day, and the family next to us was all on their cell phones for like an hour. Like, how was that breakfast fun for the family? Right? This is a really neat concept. Again, this is another book. I forgot the author, but you can look up the title, The Power of Full Engagement. And in The Power of Full Engagement, it talks about balancing energy expenditure with intermittent energy renewal. So what this means is, if we're working on that one should that we want to get 100% done, that should that makes us the most money, we work on it for 40 minutes, and then we take 10 minutes off. And I do this religiously. I work in the office for 40 minutes, and I stand up, and I walk around, and I talk to people. I go do those things. I check my Facebook. I mess around for 10 minutes, and then I get back, and my energy is back. So the powerful engagement helps with this idea of implementing and getting things done 100%, from 0 to 100%. Okay? So it helps with that. 40 minutes on, 10 or 15 minutes off. Manage your energy, not your time, this book talks about. I love that, right? I really love that. Because we do what we want to do when we want to do it. So time's kind of an abstract notion in real estate, right? I know my brother sells about $12 million a year. And he golfs 5 days a week. Can you believe that? 5 days a week. It's from like, I don't know, April to now, he's golfing 5 days a week, sells $12 million a year. He just happens to stay up at night till like 4 in the morning, working for his clients all night, doing whatever. So Manage your energy, not your time. Oh, there it is. Jim Lair and Tony Schwartz, The Power of Full Engagement. This talks about, again, 100% implementation. We're almost done, guys. Last but not least, accountability. So our industry's set up how? Who do you work for? Thank you. I'm glad no one said Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker. You don't work for them. You work for yourself. If there's any managers in here, I hope not to offend you, but they don't really care about you and how much money you make. I mean, they do, but they don't. You have to care about you. You have to find the accountability. Who in here on their to-do lists writes a to-do on January 4th and sees that same to-do on July 24th? Right? Why is that? Because, I don't know, I didn't get it done on January 4th. Where's it going to go? It's going to go to January 5th. I didn't get it done on January 5th, so where's it going to go? No one's going to slap me on the wrist. It's going to go to January 6th. You have to find accountability. It's the one thing that I don't have an app for. You have to find it somewhere in here. It's the number one challenge for us in the industry. No one's there to pull the strings. No one can fire me for not getting my to-do list done, right? No one, except my wife. She probably can fire me. Peer groups. We ran a peer group every Thursday at our office. We called it the boiler room. And we used some peer dynamics where they said, this is what I'm going to do over the next 5 days, 7 days, till we talk next time. And if they didn't do it, we chastised them, we charged them money, we did all kinds of fun stuff. But find a peer group. Find a couple of people you want to get together with. Find a mortgage or title person who will hold you accountable. Have a partner. I'm not advocating teams here, but I will say, people hold, if you don't do something your wife asks you to do you get that pit in your stomach? Like, oh, she's going to be pissed at me, right? You get that feeling, right? Right? Well, I'm married to a Costa Rican. Do you guys know anything about Costa Rican women? Have you heard anything about Costa Rican women? They're like the fieriest of the Latin American women. And so when I don't do something, I get scared, not the pit in my stomach. Like I'm thinking plates are going to fly at my house. But seriously, find a partner, guys. Technology. Find some technology. There's some apps out there. I'm not a big fan of all this technology. I mean, I love technology. But there's an app out there that if you put your credit card in, and it's a to-do list, and if you don't get it done, it charges you a predetermined amount that you say, charge me $5. And it literally charges you $5 every time you don't do it. But maybe that's the accountability you guys need. Coaches are expensive. They're expensive for a reason. Why? Why are coaches expensive? Because they want it to hurt if you don't do what they ask you to do. I will caution you one thing about finding coaches. Find a coach that mirrors the style you want. Don't find a coach who wants to change the way you work. Not everybody's good at doing FSBO marketing. Not everybody's good at knocking on doors. Don't find a coach that preaches that. Find a coach that will coach you and hold you accountable to what makes you good. And that's it. Any questions about how to finish things 100%? At very minimum, I hope you guys realize that when you say should, you're leaving that $180,000 on the table. And you guys can make that next year by eliminating that word out of your vocabulary. Thanks for having me. It's fun.